In last class, we studied about physical quantities. We studied fundamental quantities, derived quantities. We also studied about measurement of physical quantities. Now we are going to study about SI units, rules for SI units. What are the rules which are to be used while writing any SI unit? Then we will study about multiples and submultiples of units of measurement. We will study about measuring length, and we also study some instruments which are used for measuring length. So first, why SI units? Last day we studied there were several units of measurement which were used, but there were some standard and non-standard units of measurement. Several years back, people used to use non-standard units of measurement, or they were having their own units of measurement. But all these different sets of units of measurement gave different results, and it was very difficult to compare this result with respect to a single thing. So there came a need of a standard universal system of unit which should be used worldwide, and there came SI unit. So let's read out this. In earlier times, physical quantities measured in different units had different magnitudes, so it became inconvenient and difficult to compare results. So as different units, they gave different results, so it was very difficult to come across the real result or to compare them. So different units gave complicated relation with some basic physical quantities. Therefore the resulting units were not practical, so there was a need of only one universal system of units which should be used worldwide. So in 1960, the General Conference of Weight and Measures met at Paris and accepted the International System of Units. This is the full form of SI, that is International System of Units Worldwide. The SI units of 7 fundamental physical quantities are given below. We also studied that day, we studied about fundamental and derived quantities. We know that fundamental quantities, they are not dependent on any other quantity. So there are 7 kind of fundamental physical quantities, and they are length, and its unit and symbol is meter, and in the bracket the symbol is m. Then mass, that is measured in kilogram, its unit is kilogram and symbol is kg. Time, second, its unit is second and symbol is s. Then temperature, it's Kelvin, bracket K. Then electric current is measured in ampere and its symbol is A. Then we have luminous intensity. Luminous intensity, this is the quantity of visible light, or you can also say quantity of wavelength, which you will study in higher classes. This is measured in candela and its symbol is Cd. Then amount of substance, that is measured in mole and its symbol is MOL. So these are the 7 physical quantities, fundamental physical quantities. Now while writing down any SI unit, we need to follow some rules, and those rules are: the name of a unit is always written in small letters, including the case when it is named after a scientist. So the name of a unit is always written in small letter. Some examples are meter, watt, joule. So all these, you can see, these are written in small letter. Symbols for units are written in small letters. For example, M for meter, kg for kilogram, and S for second. You can see that here all the symbols, they are written in small letter. However, symbols for units named after scientists are always written in capital letter. So there is a difference between here one difference is there, that if the unit is named after any scientist, you must be knowing that Newton and Watt, they were James Watt, they were scientists. So if there are any unit which is named after scientists, then its symbol will be written in capital letter. Here N, this stands for Newton, and W, this stands for Watt, and these both are written in capital letter. The next point is that symbols for derived units which are formed by multiplication are joined with a space or center dot. We studied that derived quantities or derived units, they are always dependent on fundamental units and they are made up with the help of this fundamental units. So if derived units are formed by multiplication, then there is a point that the units are separated with a space or there is a center dot. Like here, the unit Newton second, if the unit is Newton second, you can see here that this unit is formed by the multiplication of two units, that is Newton and second. Then this is represented by ns, there is a space in between, or we will write down n dot s. So this was the case if we are multiplying two units and forming a derived unit, and if the derived unit is formed by division, then the symbols are joined with a solidus. This is known as a solidus or as a negative exponent. For example, the unit meter per second, this is the unit for speed. This is written as meter per second, this is written as s, and having a negative exponent of 1 over here, and this is read as meter per second. The names of the units can be written in plural form. So here the names can be written in plural form, that is 5 meters. Here this is the name of a unit and it is written in plural form, but the symbols of units are always written in singular form. So when we will use the symbol for meter, we know the symbol for meter is m. Then for plural also we will not write down s, we will write down 5m only and not 5ms. Then last point, since symbols of units are not abbreviations, they are not abbreviations, so we do not put any full stop unless they are at the end of a sentence. So these are some important rules for writing down any SI unit. Then the next topic is multiples and submultiples of units of measurement. To deal with different magnitudes of physical quantities, we express the units in multiples and submultiples. So when do we use multiples of unit and submultiples of unit? Obviously when we have to represent large quantity, in that case we will use multiples, and when we have to represent smaller quantities, then we will use submultiples. So here one example is also given. To express distance or size of sun, we know that the distance or size of sun is a very large, it will be very large unit, so that can be represented by multiples of unit. And if we have to express size of nucleus, we know that size of nucleus is very small, so that can be represented by submultiples of unit. So here this table, you can see these are the tables having multiples and submultiples of units of measurement. So we will read them one by one. Some multiples means these are used to represent larger quantity. Some of the multiples are like peta, tera, giga, mega, kilo, hecto, deca. So these are, and here the symbols are also given and what those value represent. Like peta represent 10 to the power of 15. Tera represents 10 to the power of 12. So these prefix can be used along with any other units of measurement. So these are the prefix which we can use. And here we have some submultiples, like if we have to represent any smaller quantity, so this submultiples of units will be used. They are deci, this is represented by d, and its value is 10 to the power of minus 1. Suppose if you want to write down decimeter or decicent, then in that case we can write like this. Then we have centi. Centi, all of you know what is centi. Then centi can be written, its symbol is C, and what its values is 10 to the power of minus 2. Then we have millimeter. Milli, this is also used and its value is 10 to the power of minus 3. Then we have micro, nano, pico, femto. So these are some of the units and you should know all this, that how much value they represent. Then our next topic is measuring length. All of you must be knowing what is measuring length. Like suppose if you want to measure your copy or you want to measure your any cloth, we use scale or we use a measuring tape to measure those things. Now suppose first let us understand what is length. Length is one of the fundamental physical quantity, and length of an object is defined as the distance between its two extreme end, and the SI unit of length is meter. So suppose if you have to find out the what is the length of this table, so obviously you will measure from this point, you will put a scale over here, and then you will put you will see what point this covers. So this the difference between this both these points, that will give you the length of this table. Now depending upon type of object, different units of length are used. For example, suppose if anybody asks you what is the length of your pencil, so obviously you are going to tell that answer in centimeter. What is the length of your book? That also you will answer in centimeter. But if anybody asks you what is the distance between Patna and Ranchi, then you are going to represent the distance in kilometer. So depending upon the thing, we will use the meter, we will use the unit to measure length. So here are some units of length which are used to measure length. Millimeter, its symbol is mm. And what is the relation with other units, that 1 millimeter equals to how many meter and how many centimeter, it is given over here. Then we have centimeter, its symbol is cm, and what is the relation between millimeter, decimeter and meter, it is given over here. Then we have decimeter, its symbol is dm. We know that 1 decimeter equal to 10 centimeter, or it is equal to 0.1 meter. So all there are many other which you should know, and you should learn all this units of length, because these are very useful in our everyday life also. Like 1 foot, what is 1 foot? It is represented in by symbol ft, and its value is that 1 foot equals to 12 inches, and how many meter, it is given 0.305. So this table is very important, you all should know this. Then here are some instruments which are used for measuring length. This is vernier calipers, then we have scale, measuring tape, screw gauge. These are some of the devices which are used to measure length. Now scale and measuring tape, hope all of you know, but here the two things which have come, which is new to you, that is vernier calipers, screw gauge. Now this you will study in higher classes when you will go. This vernier calipers, these are used to measure the distance between two opposite side of an object, and it is just like compass. Like here you can see there is a small circular like object over here, and there is a scale here. So this small object, or some if it is very difficult to measure its length, then in that case those objects are measured, the length of that object are measured by the help of this vernier calipers. And here you can see the scale, and here the reading which is shown, it is matched from here, the scale it is given over here, and whatever reading will show, that will be the length of this object. Then here we have screw gauge. This is used to measure diameter of very small things, like diameter of thin wires. Here you can see some point is there, and here wires are kept, and this device is used to measure diameter of thin wires. So this is all for today. We studied about SI units. We studied rules for SI units. We studied multiples and sub-multiples of units of measurement. We studied measuring length, and we also saw instruments for measuring length.